ready for the class. Normally I'm delayed like 5 to 10 minutes time because morning I'm having an MBA class which is online with that. Like the traveling time is half an hour. Sometime I got stuck in the middle. So the last time what we did in class. We are still in the process here. I hope the virtual students also audible with you and I don't know, since you are not responding, there is no way that it's communicating whether it's audible or not, but I'll give you the focus to the physical students. So by the way, am I audible to you, like the ones who are sitting at the back? So the last time we finished discussion of the introduction to marketing, basically like what is marketing and also who is doing it, like organizations and also individuals, both. And also we discussed some example in the class. And we started discussing the role of marketing where it is playing 3 roles. Like we take marketing as a management function. So that is basically happening in the marketing department because you get the resources from the top management so that you have to utilize the resources to achieve your objectives. Where you are doing all the management functions typically as the other management divisions also do. So that is why we are taking marketing as a management function. So where we are basically focused about the efficiency because it's a matter of resource utilization. Whatever you are getting, you want to utilize it in an efficient manner to achieve your objectives. That part we have already discussed last week. And also we discussed it as the business philosophy, where if you are taking the entire organization, so whatever the division that you are attached to, whatever the job that you do, you might be a CEO or you might be a person who is opening the door, but make sure either you are directly meeting the customers or not, your job is ultimately affect the customer's response. Okay? So therefore, every single employee in the organization should understand the importance of keeping the customer satisfied so that you have to do your job well. So that means the entire organization is being driven by the marketing as the business philosophy. That also we discussed last week. I remember the ones those were there last week. Am I going fast? I mean, in terms of like speaking, because I can see from some of the faces it's a bit confusing. So I told you like that's one of my weaknesses. Where since I had a morning of the MBA class, I might be speaking the same rhythm, so that's why. So you have to, it's confused too, isn't it? I can see no. She's having like a bit of a confusing mind. Yeah. So keep myself down. So one thing is like we have 3 roles. It's a management function where we get the resources, we have to utilize them so that we get the output. It's a matter of efficiency using input for the better output. That's clear. And the other role, taking it as a business philosophy. So that means we take the marketing as the philosophy to guide the entire business. So what's the idea behind it? The no matter where you belongs to, you might be a finance person, you might be a person who is manufacturing, you might be a person who is opening the door, you might be a CEO. Whatever the job that you do, you should understand. You might be a driver, okay? But you should understand ultimately your job will decide whether the customer is happy with the company or not. So the last week we took the example, like sometimes you're placing the order to single showroom, but they promise that it's going to deliver to your place tomorrow. So you are taking the leave and waiting, but it doesn't come. So it's really make you annoyed because then what the fault is the driver has taken a different route. And the driver is also not manipulating because the driver doesn't know anything. So there is no any coordination. So until you ring, and even if you ring the number that's been given, sometimes you may not get a proper answer because there is no coordination. But ultimately, you get disappointed. So you might be coming into a condition like, I will not buy anything from Singapore because I didn't trust them. What you are telling me is not the one that's happening. Then it's not something wrong with the sales staff. If the customers are losing, it's not you can't find the fault with the sales staff. So it belongs to someone else's shoulder. But for the outside customer, the entire company is just one unit. We don't mind the internal issues. So therefore, we should understand, like every single employee should understand the importance of understanding the customer and importance of the job that you do. So then, entire organization is doing the correct thing. So the correct thing is satisfying the customer's requirement, so that it will guide you for the effectiveness. So that is what in this slide it says. So if you are taking marketing as a business philosophy, so we get the effectiveness because everyone is doing the correct thing. And if you are taking it as a management function, we achieve the efficiency. This is the point where we stopped last time. Remember? Okay. Now shall we combine these two? So if we are combining effectiveness, the last thing there is something that I can control the cameras. Which one there is? Things are like they are being bigger. So, if you are looking at these four, right situation means a particular organization is utilizing the resources very efficient manner for doing the correct thing. So this is the ideal situation for a company to stand. Right situation. You might have seen this in general management. And then if we look at the survival, you are not utilizing the resources in efficient manner. That means you are making a waste. But anyway, you do the correct thing. So that is why you survive, even though it is the resource waste. And if you are crossing the border to the other side, like efficient, but you are doing wrong thing. So that's why you are dying, because you are doing the wrong thing. But in the other one, like you are wasting resources for wrong thing. Again, dying, but this dying is happening quickly because you are even the existing resources you are wasting. You are wasting for unnecessary things. But in the first one, but the dying is happening slowly, at least you are using the current resources efficiently so that you can live for some time. But since you are using it for a wrong thing, anyway, your business needs to close down in the future because what you are doing is not what the customer expects. Understand? So now, so this is a typical combination of efficiency and effectiveness. And also we have combined marketing as a management role, we have combined it to efficiency. And the marketing as a business philosophy, we have combined it to the effectiveness. Now, ideally, both important. That is what it says. Taking marketing as a business philosophy and taking marketing as a management function, both are equally important. Agree? So that is what this grid says. Okay? So if we are linking this with the management function and business philosophy, both roles are equally important. But in case, because organizations are not running idealistic situations, okay? Sometimes the reality is not the ideal. In case as the person who is governing the entire organization, if it happened, you to prioritize. We know that both equally important. But in case you have to prioritize, you have to select the most important thing and give the second priority for the other one. Out of these two roles, taking it as a management function, taking it as a business philosophy, which one is more important? You can answer in your mind. You want me to repeat the question again? Well, now I explain you what is the meaning of marketing as a management function. It's a matter of utilizing resources. So that means it's talking about the efficiency. Because for this one, if you get the correct answer, that means you have fully understood these two roles. And the other one is, it's a business philosophy. So that means every single person should understand the importance of customers, so that you have to do your job well, then only as a company, you are doing your best to fulfill the customer. So that means as a company, everyone is doing the correct thing. So which means business philosophy linked with the effectiveness. So then, as for this general management concept, both are equally important, efficiency and effectiveness. So which means if you are articulating it to the two roles, taking marketing as a management function is one role, and taking marketing as a business philosophy, other role, both are equally important. That's no doubt. So that's why we say that organization should be in a five situation. But that is the ideal situation. But in practice, sometimes you can't drive your organization to the ideal situation. It may happen for you to give the priority. So again, this one is important, because the other one is little less important. Out of these two roles, taking the management function or taking it as a business philosophy, which one you will select as the most important one so that you will prioritize it? You can get the answer from the three. I hope now the question is clear. If not clear, of course you can raise a hand and I can repeat the question again. You have an answer in mind? So what would be more important? This is hardest time, 11:30 to 3 minutes, like the more 3 minutes time because you have to be active in the class. I have been given the whole challenging time. I don't know why it's that. Maybe I'm busy in the morning as well as the afternoon. Otherwise, it had been earlier, like 8 to 7. Right. So what's the answer? Who says management function is important? You have to have an answer. And who says business philosophy is important? The people, those who are not like making any decision, I will explain again. Okay, I want the answer from you. The marketing plays two roles. Okay. One, it's a management function, which means within the marketing department, say that you are the marketing manager, top management is giving resources. This is what I am giving to you, but using those resources, you have to know that you are currently the leader in the market. So that you have to plan the resources, you have to organize, you have to give the leadership, you have to motivate people. And now also you have to evaluate their performance, sales and employee whatsoever. Okay. So then you have to guide the entire division to make sure that they are not wasting the resources. So that means you are doing a management role. So that is a role, marketing as a management function. So we are very particular on the efficiency. Is it clear? Now let's go to this other one. Now we're taking the entire business. You are the boss. You are the CEO. So you are guiding, you are saying that we don't mind which job that you do. You might be one who is operating the machine. You might be a debt collector. You might be an accountant. So you might be a HR person. I don't care. You might be the security. Or you might be a CEO or like whoever. Okay. But understand, all our job is depend on the customer. If they don't like our company, certainly they will go and join with the competitor's company. So either sooner or later, we have to close our business. That's everybody's responsibility. So then if everybody is working towards that target, so that means entire business is being driven by the marketing philosophy. So that means everybody is doing the correct thing. So keep your customer happy. Is that clear? Then management role linked with the efficiency. Business philosophy linked with effectiveness. If the ideal situation is tried, no doubt both are equally important. What I'm saying is, in case happen to prioritize, that means you give more weight for the one which is more important. So whether you are selecting management function as more important or business philosophy as just sacrifice something and see whether what happens. I give point to you. So whatever sacrificed, so then see whether still you can run the business or not. So then if it is still if it is possible to run the business even in absence of something, that is more important. And who says that the management function? Who says the management function? There'll be one more point for you to think. Where is the management function links with efficiency? Just think, if efficiency is not there, what happens? And also think the other side of the coin. If effectiveness is not there, what happens? Think along the box. If effectiveness is not there, what could happen? If efficiency is not there, what could happen? It's very easy for me to give the answer, but I want the answer from you. Then I know that you fully understand. If efficiency is not there, there is an option, still you can survive. But when the effectiveness is not there, either sooner or later you have to die. Then out of these two, which one is more important? Efficiency or effectiveness? Effectiveness is more important. And then the effectiveness is linked with which role? Business development. That is why it's business development. Understand the way that's that's what I want you to learn from me. I won't give the end. Because it's easy for me to give the end, but then you have to memorize. But being adult, I don't want you to memorize everything because you can't. Because you have so many other things to memorize in your personal life, office life. So that's you have married in other life studies. Okay? It's not possible. Don't try for it. But have the sequence how I'm developing. So if you know that rhythm, subject is nothing. Okay? So therefore here it says that so long as if you sacrifice effectiveness, no matter whether you are using resources efficiently or not, you are doing the wrong thing. That means the customer, either sooner or later, they will leave from your company because this is not something they expect from you. So there is no survival for your business. So, but even if you are doing the correct thing at the cost of efficiency, fine. So therefore, out of these two roles, the business philosophy is more important. Yeah. Now I'm going to the other one. Marketing as a skill. So skill means what? Okay. Means what? In general idea, I have a skill of this, something like that. You may have so many skills. I have a skill of operating this software. I have a skill of this, that. But it's an ability. Isn't it? You are able to do something. So then we take marketing is a kind of a skill, ability for us. Because now we know already marketing is all about like understand the customers, fulfill their requirement better than other brands are, so that you'll be able to get the profitability. So then it's a matter of two. Understand people and give what they want. So those two are the ones that is shown here. The sensing ability. Sensing means you have to sense the market. How do you sense the market? Like as a human being, are we having senses? Do you have senses? So what your senses are? How many senses we have? There are 5 senses. Okay. We use these 5 senses to know the surrounding. Okay. What are the 5 senses? You see? Here, okay, two. And the smell, third one. Taste, touch. So that we use those 5 senses to know about our environment. Can we use those 5 senses to understand customer? That's my next question. Can we use that 5 senses to understand customer? By looking at a person, can you say that which kind of a person he or she is? Can you say? Looking at a person? Can't. Because they can manipulate you. Even a very good robber and looks like a very innocent person, isn't it? So then hearing the person, there are so many liars in the market, in the society. Doesn't help. Well, you can tell only thing about the cleanliness of the person, not anything else. Whether the person is clean or not, that's for you, but not more than that. Okay. Of course, you can't taste. Hopefully, the reaction will be so weird. You're going to taste the person. And the touching is also you put in your tongue. So that means these 5 senses, it's not strong enough to understand human beings. So then how we are going to do it? So do you know, like they understand human beings the most difficult task in this world? Why? Why it is so hard for us to understand human beings? Because they quickly change. People are highly versatile. Because like ideal example, like you give the food to a dog or an animal, there's a pet at home or even on the street, so that pet won't change. But if you hit a particular person or that dog or a cat, they will get closer. Even if you hit sometimes, if you are giving the food continuously, so that pet will excuse you for some time and still come behind you. Haven't you recognized it? That means they won't change. So we should not use the term all dog for human, because the dogs are much better than the humans. Because sometimes you might have come across some people in your life sharing everything. Like you give 99%, but you lose 1%. People touch the 1%, they catch the 1%, forget about the 99. Agree? So very quickly they change. So it says that it's like the sky. In the morning, it's very dry, but we never know what's going to happen in the afternoon. So that's why you see in the office like a person is very friendly with you in the morning, but in the afternoon, not even look at you. You don't know the reason. It's the moods will change quickly, so that it's very hard for us to understand human being. What's the other reason? So that they are changing, we can't predict their behavior. Since they are changing, we don't know what happened next. So we give everything, thinking that we will return in anyhow, but unfortunately, person will figure out like you didn't do this one, so that I don't want to give anything. That all the 99% is okay. Because that's how the human brain is being built up, because you like the negative things, but you don't like the positive things. Agree on? Because if I ask you to go back to your memory and stop in the places where your mind stopped, sometimes we stop in the places where we went wrong. The wrong decision that we took, that we remember for a longer period of time, not the good things happen. So normally it says that that is the human brain, it works. So you touch upon the negative ones, the more the feeling that you have, more you remember. But the positive things quickly forgets. So that we can't predict. What's the other? They are really diverse. Even like within the same family, how many diversities are there? Just sit down to watch the TV in the night. How many times that the people are fighting for the remote? All are in the same family. So sometimes among the children, same mother and father, unlike in the Western countries, Sri Lanka, normally mother and father are same for children. And the same background, and we don't discriminate. And sometimes gone to the same school. And sometimes still they are fighting. That shows the diversity. So then that because of that, because they are highly versatile, so that we can't predict them, and also they are quickly changing. Not quickly changing, they are really diverse, quickly changing in versatile. So that it's hard for us to understand human beings. So how do we do it? How do we understand it? So you also understanding the person. I like to get your experience, because you are an experienced crowd. So you tell me how you understand the human being, the people around you, because you are working on, so that you feel like kind of okay, this person is like this person is like this is how I can approach this person. So I can approach that. What mechanisms you have to use? Communication. Communication. Yeah. The way that the persons communicate. Yeah. What else? Observe, yes. Inspecting, yes. You have to feel, isn't it? Okay. So you are using all possible ways to feel a particular person. Like this. It's a kind of a skill, but not something. Some of the skills that you're born with, but some of the things that you can build up. This is a kind of a skill that you can build up. I'll give just two instances where just if we take a particular person who has been grown up in a family with less exposure only family members. From the home to school, from the private vehicle, and then from school to home, and even very less the number of people that she quickly get tracked. Okay, because that person has been exposed to only limited number of people, so that the person can understand their behavior. So they see the world through that limited people. But in the society, people are so diverse. But if you have another one who is in a family, another family, like who has been exposed to so many friends, so the person is having more sense about the market, about the people. Because you know, like 100 different kind of characters, then the 101, it's easy to understand. But if you know only 5 characters, 6 characters is very difficult to understand. So that is why it's the experience matters. So that you observe, you inspect, you look at the way that they communicate, look at the way that they behave. So everything, with the time, you will build up your skill. So that's why, especially in the marketing field, like the experience matters. The experience in the market, not in the office. So whoever in the marketing field should start their career from the field, so that you know that how people behave, how people make the decisions, how people purchase, what's their behavior. Then that is how you have to understand a particular thing. So that's a kind of sensing skill. Like I'll give you a real example. That's I got to know from one of my students. Earlier he was so he was the brand manager for one of the leading multinational corporations in Lanka, where then he had been headhunted by the regional office to head in the 50 countries. So he had his first assignment to send to India. So then he started this to increase the particular region of India, to increase the sales of ice cream. So then what he did was, because he is having experience in Sri Lankan customers, but he doesn't know how about the Indian people. What he did was, so that means now he is a regional manager, heading the 50 countries of a multinational company. Yes. So then, of a FMCG multinational company. He was just going with the sales staff, just from motorbike, with the full of dust and the heat, 2 weeks spent in the market and observe and be with the people and be in the shopping malls and observe how people buy ice cream. And who is making decision, with whom that they are shopping, and what is the priority that they are giving for the ice cream. And then after 2 weeks time, he realized, okay, this is the behavior of the Indian people. Normally, ice cream is the last item in the shopping list. Why? Why the ice cream is the last item in the shopping list? It's melt. And also, like sometimes, what's the main market for the ice cream? Children. Children are the main market. So when the mother is shopping with the children are the one who is insisting for ice cream. So, but normally what happens is, when it's coming to the latter part of the shopping list, one thing is anyway you can't keep it in the front because it's melting. You keep it at last. So by the time, if you don't have the money, you simply have it. Isn't it? Not an essential product. So then, but the children is a very good influencer. By the time the mother is doing the shopping and then coming to the closer to the till, so the children may also might have changed the mindset. Because ice cream is located in the frozen area. That is not closer to the till. That he observing. This is the behavior of the people. So that is what is called sensing the market. Then, but his strategy was have a vending machine closer to the counter. In a way, transparent, put the ice cream in it. So where the people are waiting to pay the money, so the children can see the ice and keep the ice cream, very the fancy colored one, in the children eye-catching area. And even if you go to the supermarket, here also all the chocolates and everything is in the down. Because even if you see, if you want, let people to buy. But if you are smaller or bit like, then you can't shout the person because it's not nice. Then the other people will look at you and say that you see that this mother looks very nice. The dramatic like, but you see that for the small chocolate, the way that the person is shouting a small way. Don't want to undermine yourself so that anyhow, no choice. Either you cut down from somewhere else in the budget and you have to give. So then, like he was using that strategy, he said that have a vending machine, transparent in a way that the children can see, put in the eye-catching level, sales increase by 20. Like it's a matter like you have to go to the market, you have to deal with the people, and then you should understand, this is how it goes. That is what it's called sensing. The relationship. You should understand the people and also you have to be flexible. You should not be rigid. Because if you are not flexible, that means you can't fulfill that requirement. Imagine like there will be some people very moody. They won't change. So you might have seen those kind of people in your life, the office and at home. So everywhere. Like if it is black, even though it is white, it's black. No one likes it. Because obvious that it is not black. And some persons totally know that what he is telling is totally wrong, but the person doesn't like to change the mind. So that the person would control up to a certain point, but you will do only a certain limit. You won't give your maximum to that person. So if you have that kind of a boss, so that means the boss doesn't understand you. That means the low limit. You will perform, but with the limit. It is not your full capacity. Because if you are being given a report, you can make a report within a couple of hours. Before you can make it, but you won't send it. Because you don't like it or her. You know that if you are sending it by 12 o'clock, you will be given another task. So you just pretend it. That takes time. So I'm using this for the full day. Then around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, whenever you are getting ready to go, send it. The boss can't do anything. So that is what that boss is not flexible to the subordinate. The same thing is for the customer. We should feel that and also we should adjust us. There are some people who are very less in flexibility. Like sometimes it's magic. So you had a plan of going for a film, but the one of your friends is having an issue. So your suggestion would be, okay, let him stay a little. No relating it. But if you are a real person, you say that, okay, let's postpone it. So that it's very difficult for us to get somebody's heart. It's not that easy. But once you got it, they will give the maximum. Because like I told you, like marketing is something we should also practice individually. That's we discussed that day. And I'll give another example in Sri Lankan example where again I'm not telling the name of the company because international students are there. So then one of the shop in Sri Lanka, the CEO, one of the students, and he said that like the way that he's practicing marketing with image, that the relating and sensing ability. So his market is externally customer, internally staff. Agree? The CEO is telling my market externally my customer, but internally my staff. I know every single the way that the employee is thinking. So that I'm changing my management approach. Some people want a very rigid control. Other people he is flexible. And some people, if I control, they won't give the quotation. So I give them freedom. But some people in the middle, some sort of a control, but some sort of a freedom. So that means he's saying that 3 sets of employees are there, but if I'm going to use the same management approach to all these 3, I can't get the maximum. So then some days, he said that she was just sharing some experience with me, said that some days, if a particular person is finished the work, he's calling the person and saying, oh, do you want to go early? If you have finished your work, go early. He himself is sending the people home. Because he's saying that if a particular day comes, if the person wants to work overnight without OT, that person will work. And also it's very productive because the person won't keep everything dragging. Because the person knows that if I finish quickly, I can go home quickly. So you increase employee productivity. Because the idea is like the work is just a one line. If a guy is not happy, we can't get the maximum out of them. We also have that. Some days we are so dull. So even if you are going to the work and you don't concentrate. But if you are with the family, if you are relaxing yourself, if you entertain yourself, then you are happy so that your maximum will be given the. And also you, when he was telling like, then those employees really love him. Because he was just telling one incident. One day he was in a hall and he was reversing his vehicle, but his attention to the hall. Then suddenly the particular sound came. Then generally he saw from the camera, the bike is there, but he said that he could remember when he was start reversing, there was no any bike. And then he was thinking like, how come then suddenly the bike comes in between the bench and the car? So then he got down and then the driver, it was a driver's bike. The driver has put it purposefully in between the bench and the car. Then he had asked, why did you do it? Because then the driver's answer was, I saw that you are on a call and you are reversing. If you reverse in that speed, certainly it will touch. It will hit the bench. So then it will damage your vehicle more seriously. I saw the speed that you were reversing. So that's why I got off my bike. I can beat it. Just imagine the bond that the employee is having with the boss. So you can't create that bond. So if you are not relating the approach for each and every customer situation. So that's what here it says that that's not something you can learn from it. So you have to build it up. The relating ability, sense the market, change yourself. When the customers are changing, you have to change yourself. Otherwise, you are losing like what happened. Nokia, like the world leading brand, but lost the leadership to Samsung. Because they didn't relate the mobile phone as per the people's requirement. But Samsung did it. So that because they are related to the technology as per the market requirement, so that even though it's a European brand and also it was well-established brand, but still they didn't catch up the first position. Still the Samsung is leading the entire world. So in that the ice cream example, he saw that how the people purchase and relate the strategy. He said that don't keep the ice cream in a corner. That is relating skills. What you learn, bring it to the strategy. So then he said that, okay, have something like this, then it will work. Because traditionally, if you are thinking that, okay, this is a frozen item that needs to be with the frozen items, it won't work. So if you want, you can take down examples like, I have given so many examples, Nokia, for example, sensing ability, you feel the customer's preferences, and accordingly, you have to pay. Otherwise, you have to lose the market, like what happened to Nokia. You can take down in your own words, that is not right. And also another example, that ice cream example in India. Understand how the people purchase ice cream. The main influencer is children, but it is the last item in the shopping list. So that to influence the children, you have to relate the skill, that what you have learned to the strategy. Instead of keeping ice cream with the other frozen item, you have to have a separate vending machine closer to the child. Then the children will be influenced so that, yeah, the sales will increase. Okay. So sometimes purposefully I'm asking you to take down the examples just because I want you to give an opportunity to see whether you can write. Because otherwise, ultimately, you are the one who has to write the exam paper. And if you are going to keep the exam as the trial, sometimes the trial will fail. So therefore, in the class, develop the ability of having your own answers. If it is something important theoretically, I will give the answer. I will give the inputs. Otherwise, so you just rehearse yourself to your idea, put that into it. You are not very fluent in language, that's okay. First, have your own language. So then after that, try to slowly read. Since you are coming from the finance background, I know that you are a very good writer. So that's why it's another challenge for you. For a descriptive subject like the marketing, HR, and once you need more explanation. You try to build up that skills as well in the class itself. Now, in fact, this is what we call marketing process, which I'm not going to explain this because this is your entire syllabus. Basically, what we do is we understand the customer's requirements and fulfill them. For us to fulfill them, we have to have the marketing strategies. And then once we allocate resources for that, it becomes a marketing program. And then we have to implement it to have a very good relationship with our customers. Then we will be able to get the profit out of them, not the short-term profit. It's the long-term profitability so that we get the profit and the customer's value throughout the time. So that is what it's happened. But you don't need to memorize this process. I just include, this is what the marketing managers are doing. But your syllabus finishes in seconds. Understand the market requirements and how we develop the marketing strategies. There we finish the syllabus for undergraduates. We are not touching the remaining part for your level. So in the other slides, you will see this number 1 and 2. So that means it's referring to this 1 and 2. We'll start with the first one. Understand the marketplace and the customer's requirement, where you should know about some core concepts. So these 5 core concepts are essential for you to understand. So I'm going to start discussing that one. So which I'm going to do one at a time. I'll explain each of these ones with the application. Customer need. Need means what? Without fulfilling it, you can't live. So long as if you are a human being, it's a must for you to fulfill. So that is why here it says state of health deprivation if it is not being fulfilled. As a human being, what we have to fulfill, we must fulfill. Without that, we can't live. Without food, we can't live. What else? Water, the thirsty, water, whatever, right? We need the food, and that means the hunger is one of the needs, and also thirsty is also another need. So without these two, we will die. At the same time, we need the shelter and those kind of things as well. So those are the examples for need. My next question. Can marketeers create benefits? Can marketeers create the need? I told you what is need. Also, I gave you example. Can an external company create any of these needs? It's automatically happens. So we don't need external party to happen because it's a naturally occurs. So therefore, we say that marketeers can't create the need. It's a matter of fulfilling. They don't need examples. What is there on the slides, I won't repeat it because it's same page. The need to simply take down the example. Examples, hunger, put a small dash, food. And thirsty, small dash, beverage. Don't say water because there are certain instances where other than the water, we will fulfill it another way. This beverage. And the shelter. So those are the needs, and also take it down. Marketeers can't create the need. So you can take down. Marketeers can't create the need. Okay, we'll go to the next one. Want. way of fulfilling the need. Now listen to me. So like it's normally my I don't know whether it's correct or not. My philosophy is if you don't know, no point of writing. All that you are writing, you don't know. So then again, you have to read it and understand. So therefore, if you don't understand, don't write. So like let's so automatically happen like you feel like quickly. So then want means the way of fulfilling the need. Now the need is hunger. How we fulfill the hunger? I'm talking about the hunger in the wrong time. So how we fulfill the hunger? Since we are Asians, mainly we go for rice and curry. But if we are in another country, like if we take a Western country, so we might be just having a sandwich or chips or something like that. And even that is why here it says that it's something shaped by the culture. Everywhere in the world, wherever human beings there, the hunger happens, the need. But based on the culture that the person is in, you decide what the person wants. Yes. And also it says that the want is it's a different way of fulfilling the needs. Then it's shaped by the personality. Like if you in the tea break, so around like 3 o'clock goes over, like in the tea break, once you go there, the friends are demanding for different beverages. One will simply go for water, and one will have a coffee, and one will have a tea, one will have a plain tea, and another one will have a drink, whatever. But all of you are in Sri Lanka. That depends on your personality, your preference. So that's why here it says that it depends on the individual personality. Okay. The goal, way of fulfilling the need. Way of fulfilling the needs. It is depend on the culture. It is depend on the culture. Example, Sri Lankans. Example, Sri Lankans look for rice and curry where the Western person, whereas the Western person is for, whereas the Western person is for sandwiches to fulfill the hunger. So that means different form of food requested based on the culture. It's depend on the personality. It depend on the personality. It is down. It is depend on the personality. Group of Sri Lankan people, a group of Sri Lankan people prefer, a group of Sri Lankan people prefer different types of beverages. Different types of beverages. I think that you would say water, cocktails, tea, coffee. Type of beverages to fulfill the thirsty. Fulfill the thirsty. So it shows that like how the personality will determine what to want. My next question. Can marketeers, can you think like whether the marketeers can create the need? Won't? Do you think that the marketeers can create the need? Yes. Because those days we didn't have next cafe. But now it is in one of the pools, like we mainly go for it. Being created. And also those days, like we do communicate, but we didn't have the mobile. But we can't live without it. So likewise, it's being created by the market. So the roles can be created by the market. Or can be created by the market. Okay. Then the demand means like if the want is backed by the purchasing power, then only all as demand. It's something like this. Yeah. If I asked you to list down your wishes, what you prefer to buy, we have a long list. But why you are not buying one? Simple like such, isn't it? So then always demand is an output of the combination of willingness and the ability. So the people should like it and also people should have to have the ability of buying. So that should be understood. Therefore, like when the companies are developing strategies, like say for an example, Singapore sales drop or sales stagnant. No point of doing the strategies to say that these products are good. Yes, we know that they are good. We know that they are essential. But the problem is we don't have money. That's why we don't buy it. So that means no point of having the strategies to increase the willingness. Sometimes it's obvious people know that yes, it's better. We have an AC for each room at home. That you don't need it, we also know it. But the problem is we can't accommodate because we don't have money. So therefore, your strategy should target towards the ability as well. So that they are saying that you don't need to pay at once to come, take it home, pay it install. But you have to show us that you can pay it. So then their strategy targets towards the ability. That we should understand, like demand is always not that they like it, but that they're able to pay. Now, demand is a combination of willingness and ability. Willingness and ability. That's why now if the banks are complaining like the people don't deposit now and keep on highlighting the advantages of the deposits, no point. People don't put the money. Because like anyway, we know that the advantages of saving. But the problem is we don't have money left to save. That's the problem. That's why we're not saving. So that the bank should have to have another remedy to get the income. Because the banking, the normal business is you get the deposit, you promise the deposit holders, we will pay this much of interest, and you take that money and giving as lending. And from the lending person, you are taking higher interest. That the difference between the lending rate and the deposit rate is your income. Now people don't take the money because they don't have the money. Otherwise, they like to put the money because at least you get the interest. And on the other side, people don't take the loans also. Because they know that the constructing is good, the changing the house is good, like buying vehicle, that's all good. We know it. You don't need to tell. But we can't take at that interest rate. Now you probably like 25%. Because earlier 30% or something, now it's 25, like roughly that rate. So then the both sides it sees. So then certainly banks will collapse. So that they should know that the people know. They like to have the deposits and also they like to have like development in their personal life or their business. But the problem is they have a problem of ability. So financially, they are not able to save either or once they take the loan, pay the installment. So that you have to have another way of getting the interest out. So they are basically touch upon the ability. The banks, what the banks are in the bank. But the banks are highlighting these days. You know, like what the other main focus is on demand. Credit card. Credit card is their main business because the one side people don't save because they don't have the money, and also they want to keep their dignity. They can't ask the money every month at the end of the month before you get into the next salary. So that while keeping the dignity, so you have to go for a short-term loan, so which is the credit card. And also not having a credit card, not using again, it's pointless. So that's why they are doing some promotions with the supermarkets and the retail shops and asking people to use credit cards. So much you use, so much the interest is being paid. Okay, because you are getting from the trader 3%, and also the interest rate is quite high. Even I think now the effective rate is more than 30%. That is how they get the income, and that is how the banks are run. So where are they target? I mean, the entire strategy is focused towards stability. They are not promoting deposits. They are not promoting loans. Because no point of doing it in this kind of a crisis situation. It's knowing the demand is ability and the willingness, it's one thing. But since you are practitioners, you should look through that demand, what strategies the companies are doing. Now I give example of single the installment payment system that's targeted towards stability, and the bank focusing more about the credit card. Again, they touch upon the ability side, not the bill, because no point of promoting it, saying that these benefits are getting subject to the general. Okay. If you want, to tell those two examples. The single like so for the ones those who are virtually joined, Singer is a home appliance trader in Sri Lanka. So they have gone for the installment payment system. That because their focus is keeping the ability more comfort for the community, for their customers. And even the banks, nowadays, with the economic crisis that's going on in Sri Lanka, so there's no point of highlighting the benefits of depositing the money and also the benefits of lending the money, taking the loans from the banks. But it's obviously know that, but people don't do it because they don't have the ability. So that's why they are focusing on towards the credit. tolerate heat more before the break. So you want to break and find where you go. Either I can get a break now or else I can discuss it. If you're hungry, we can go for a break. Yes, yes. So, yes. Feel comfortable, yes. So he said he wants a break, take a break. Oh, no, all right, okay. So, thank you. So, the next one. Okay. So we complete different goals. So then we discuss each one's demand, and the other one is we call it as offering, market offering. So which means like what the company offer to their customer base, to see their requirements. So that's what here it says. So the customer needs and wants are fulfilled through market offering. Okay. So this is coming in different form. So that would be a physical product sometimes. Okay. Like say for an example, all which has that you can touch and feel, that is physical. The pens, the shoes, the mobile phones, bag, whatever, then they are physical product offering. And some of the companies offering it as a service, where you don't have the tangibility. You can't touch and feel. That is also kind of offering. Some companies like Malibu, they offer something tangible. But same time, there are some companies which offer service, which doesn't have the tangible. Hotel services like banks, hotels, even now education. Okay. Because you are not physically carrying anything whenever you're going home, isn't it? But you develop something in your mind. So it's education is a service, and the bank, airline, and the transport. Okay. So some companies are offering in that form. And some are offering in terms of information. That means there are some companies which offers information just for giving information, they are charging from the customer. So if I put it in the customer's point of view, you as a customer, you are getting the information. To get that information, you are paying. Yes, yeah. Where that you pay for information. Yes, newspapers and also some research reports. There, whenever you are downloading, it's asking for you to pay. And also like the news item itself, news alerts. Because since you want information, there you are making a certain pay. And sometimes it's an experience. There are some companies which provide the experience. So by giving experience, they charge from. And if I put it the customer's point of view, the customers are just because they want that experience. So they go and get the experience. For the experience, they pay. Where? Yes. Theaters, yeah. Yeah, like why you want to go for a film? See it and you enjoy, you experience it. So like that's why some people, when the very emotional scene is going, the people are fine. But if you are living in the scene, So that means you want that experience. Okay. So like when there is a very action movie and you also in action in the scenes. Okay. So that's a kind of an experience you want. Okay. And also like why you go for a roller coaster? Because you want to get yourself afraid. You want to get yourself afraid, to pay for yourself and then get that horrible experience, and after that you are complaining that my head is and vomiting like this, but you deserve it. It's a kind of an experience. The water world, leisure world, that all gives you experience. That's why you are trying different right. Person. I'll leave the person at last. Place. Some like they offer the place so that they are charging. And also you are visiting the place so that you are paying. Example. Gardens, yes. There's the botanical gardens and the flower gardens, and also like the zoo. And the local tourism, basically they use the place. Because they say that you have to visit CBD, you have to visit that place, the other place like us, and then for that they are making kind of you have to make a payment for that entrance. It's a place. The tourism basically use the place as the entire of it. Like in international tourism, we say that we take the entire country and say that you have to come and visit Sri Lanka because it's full of natural beauty. So that's the product is the place. And then the events. Events. That's something like which has a beginning and end. Maybe it runs for a couple of days, or maybe run only one day or within a couple of hours. That itself is an offering. Concerts, musical shows, exhibitions. Okay. So that means like they design, they have it, and ask people to come and enjoy. So then it's all. Okay. Ideas. Some firms are there, they give the ideas. Oh, giving the ideas, they charge. From the customers, like to get the ideas, we have to pay. Consultants, designers, yes, the lawyers, the medical consultants or the business consultants. So that's all we are going there to get their ideas and solve our problem. I'm going to come to the last one, person. There are some instances where the person is the one that you owe. Something ethical. Person is the one that otherwise you might be thinking that something unethical. Something ethical which I can discuss with the class. So then so like the person is the one that you offer, say that we have this person so that we are good. Security firms, yeah. Okay. Okay. In your mind, marketing is not living only for companies. That we have already discussed. This is there. Actors and actors. The very interesting part is not coming in the class. Politicians. Because they don't have anything else to be sold. So that if a particular political party wants to win the power, what they're doing is they are collecting people. It's very hard to find good people, by the way, but they are doing the headhunting. They say that okay, if this is a regime like where the people mostly love educated people, now they are getting the educated people and saying that this much of educated people are in our party, so that we have to vote. So then the people factor is the matter. So likewise, the person is also sometimes it's also on sale. So basically, we are talking that first place and answer that is what they offer and say that we are having these people, so you have to come with us. Clear? Take down example for each product. You can write down any physical product in a bag or phone, automobile, what. Product is a physical product. And services. To a small dash and write down the example. You don't need to take down that. You just say like. Because the what's there on the side, you don't need to take it down because anyway I'm already given the side. What you have to do is like product, example, services, example, information, example, sections. Have a one at a time. A small dash and write down example for each. Services, maybe banking, insurance, hotels. Information, news, research reports, market reports. And the exchange, like Colombo Stock Exchange, that's basically providing information. Nothing else. And the experience, fields, the instruments, portable, measure bar, roller coaster, merry-go-round, and the persons, the politicians gathered in a particular political party. And the place like senior, any kind of tourist place. Sri Lanka as a whole for international tourism. Events, exhibitions, musical shows. Ideas, the consultants, lawyers, like designers, architectures, they give the designs. Okay, so one question before the break, like just imagine, like you saw a poster. It is on like you haven't imagined. It is a musical show. It's going on in the say Lotus Tower. So where it says that some famous singers are coming. which combination that you can see over there. In general, it's an event. And within which, what else are there? Persons also there. Okay. Because they are highlighting some people coming. Okay. So that is within the event itself. What else? Experience. Because you are asking people, if you want to get this kind of experience, you have to be with us from this time to until whatever the time. So it's a experience. What else? Yes. Place. Because it says the lotus star. If it is having like some food item, like food stalls and those kind of things, you get the product also. If it is coupled with some the play, the small items, so then it has again the experience. And services, I was just thinking like what kind of services it's having. Yeah. If it is Disney or something like that, which is having the ATM machines within the place, that's possible. But this is just an event. Wow. I can't find services, but sometimes you might be thinking correct. But it feels like the permanent place, like in a water world or somewhere, where sometimes they might have established vending machine, not vending machine, ATM machines in the place itself. Then you provide the service. So what's the point? What I wanted to tell you, when marketeers are offering something, even though we theoretically discuss these ones in detached, but they offer it as a one. And so that you go to see area, so it's you experience it, and it's a place, and you will eat something, and you will withdraw the money. So likewise, and then four components are there. It's a matter like how we are going to combine those. So in practice, write it down. In practice, mainly it's in combination. Practice mainly is in combination. That's why here it says combination of. Combination. Example, an event organized in Lotus Tower with the participation of famous figures, combined event, famous figures, combined event, person, place, experience, and product. Hope it's clear. Behind is better shape over break. So we'll quickly have a break because you have a break at the end also, because I told you I need 5 days. Today's second day. So I'm finishing like 2:45. So we'll save the time from the break. Try to come in 15 minutes. Quickly take your break and come. Now it's try to pop up in the class like 1:30.
Can we get them?
Okay, let's not complete. Yeah, we stopped last time, not last time, like before the break. What happened? So I need to fix the storage for my days. Today is the second day, so 3 more to go. Yeah. So the other concept is customer relevance satisfaction. Like customer value we have already discussed. Can you remember? That's the very first day we discussed about the customer value, the comparison between the benefits and the cost. So where we have 4 types of benefits and 4 types of cost. Also, we gave I gave an example, and also I want you to articulate for the BSAA accounting. Can you remember the ones we were there in the next? That's the same thing. Customer, the value is the same thing. So therefore, I'm not discussing now. They've already discussed. But yeah. If I ask like this, so then, so this is what it says like the customer perceived value. So it's a matter of comparing benefits and the cost. If I ask a question like this, what the company can do to improve the customer value? What are the possible ways where the customer value can be improved? One thing is like so this is what we say that the customer perceived value. It's the comparison between the benefits and the cost. Bear with me for 2 months. I will make it 25. You are sitting and working for us. Then, so what possibilities are there for us to improve the customer perceived value? One thing we can do is this side constant. Is this. So likewise, think about the possible ways that you can increase the value. Because you are more mathematicians than me. But we want to get a higher value for this. So what the changes that you can do? So one strategy again, keep the cost constant, give more benefits. Then the customer perceives more. So likewise, see the other possibilities like how we are adjusting these two. You can write it down in this way. Customer perceived value, cost, keep it constant, and the perceived benefit increase. That is one topic. So likewise, think about the other topic. So if we can proper comparing these two, we can keep constant cost and increase this side, then we can get the more value. So likewise, think about the other alterations where we ended up with a more value here. It's easy for you to write it down as an equation, the benefits over cost. In fact, that is one of the past paper questions. So in the past paper, one of the papers I have asked to explain customer perceived value of a particular scenario. And also in the second question I asked, discuss the possible approaches where you can increase the customer perceived value. So that is what now I'm asking from you. Yeah, I think like all of you are in the correct direction. That's why I told you that you are expert for that, like thinking about the equations. Yeah. One side, like what's the other possibility? Opposite of this. Keep this constant, reduce this. Here that you have got it. Keep one constant and give more benefit, or as the benefit constant, give for a cheaper price. We have to go the opposite direction. That is also possible. Then again, you get more. The third one. You can increase both. If you give more benefits, but increasing a bit of a higher, so this magnitude is so long as it's lower than this one, still people perceive more benefits. You reduce the benefit, but you reduce more the cost, so that still people feel like there is a huge reduction of this side, so that still I perceive. I don't know whether I have power of what. Can it be happen like that? It can't. Because reducing the benefit, increasing the price, this side won't increase. So likewise, you can't simply put the arrows in those ones. You have to always look at like what's happened to this side. Okay, now let's go to the satisfaction. So what do you mean by satisfaction? About the situation where we said like we don't buy any product or services, that's what marketplace did. So long as the people perceive the value, like more benefits than the cost. So then they will go for that option. Then you have purchased something. You pay and then you purchase. So what is your feeling to make sure that you are satisfied? What does that mean? Satisfied means what? I give a point of each. You have purchased something. Now you have purchased because you purchase more benefit than what you are paying. So that's why you purchase a particular thing. So at what point you feel satisfied with what you have purchased? So what is going in your mind that gives you the meaning for satisfaction? When you feel that you are happy on, you have purchased something, then you feel you are happy on. But whenever you are using it, you thought something, okay, this will function like this, and then also this gives this one, and it gives like that. So you have all the bundle of benefits, and also The cost so that you keep that you get more. So then by the time you start using it, then only you realize the value that it is there. Isn't it? If you purchase a pair of shoes and in the showroom you walk here and there, you think that it doesn't harm you on that, so that's why you purchase it. But while you are really using it and then don't know whether it's really give you comfort or not. So then if you are getting something which you didn't experience by the time that you trial, so it's what is happening over there. You're comparing two things in your mind. What you thought earlier and what you're actually getting. So then the satisfaction is a comparison. Comparison of what? The perceived value and the actual value. The perceived value is your expectations. Actual value is the performance of the product. So then once the performance matches with what you are expected, you are happy. But if the performance is lower than what you expected, you are not happy or happy. Not happy. Because you thought like that, but it's not. But if it gives more than what you thought, you're more happy. So that is what the satisfaction is. Satisfaction is a matter of a comparison of two things. What you thought and what you actually did. So that's what here it says. The extent to which a product perceived performance that matches with the expectations. So this is what you expected, perceived performance. So this is what your actual performance. So that is the performance of the product. So then if it matches with each other, then you are really happy. But in case, if you get less than what you thought that you can use that pair of shoes for about like 6 months, but in the second month, it's already broken. Your performance doesn't match with what you thought was. Okay? So then you're not happy. And or else, like here, originally you thought that you can use it for 6 months. Now it's almost like 8-9 months. Still you're using it. You are more happy because what you thought and what you're getting is more than what you thought was. So we call it as a customer is highly satisfied. That means delighted. So therefore, we have to keep the customer in these two instances. So that either you have to give what you promise as a company, or else you have to give more than what you promise. Okay? Because you are promising something, you are showing that, okay, this is what is there with this product. Either you have to meet it, otherwise give more than what you are showing. So therefore, we have to keep the customer in this relationship. It's a matter of keeping that relationship. Either you give what the customer expects, or you give more than what customer expects. So what I have done is I just combine these two instances. So then, therefore, that plays a major role with the expectation. Because sometimes something like this, either you can keep more expectations or you can keep less expectations. Just imagine think that don't worry about what's there in the slide. Think about what I'm telling. Since you want to delight the customer purposefully, since you want to delight the customer, purposefully, you can keep this side down. Thinking that anyway your pair of a shoe that you are selling as a company, you know that certainly that can be used without problem, that can be used for 6 months. But it's good to keep the customer more happy. So at the point of selling, you are saying that this is usable for 4 months. So anyway, you know that the performance are much more better than what you are telling now. So purposefully keep expectations down, thinking that you can delight the customer. That because you want to keep this relationship. Listen, is it a good strategy? That's my question. Did you get the point what I'm asking? Because the people will be more happier. Because you said that it's usable for 4 months. Now they are without any problems, usable for 6 months. Thirdly, the delighted customer will come next time. Other way. So, but the problem is, you have a particular price that you are giving to the shoe. So you have to think about, are the customers willing to pay that amount of money for this kind of a pair of a shoe that can use only for 4 months? That's the problem. Did you get my point? Whether the customer can accommodate that price for a pair of a shoe that usable only for 4 months. So that means you are losing sufficient number of customers. So that is why purposefully we can't keep the expectations down, thinking that we can delight the customer. That is not a good strategy because you are losing some customers. But since we want to get more customers, we can exaggerate. So that we can attract more customers. But the real product is not as what you're telling. This is what mostly happens in the Sri Lankan context. So you get more and more customers, but the problem is one day they will realize whether what you said was correct or not, because they will be using the product. Once they start using, then they will realize all the disadvantages that something that you have already included. So it will make them come up. So then it will end up with what? If the expectation is more expectations, but the real product is not giving that what you are telling, it will end up with. Oh, yeah, please speak. Am I going fast? You're not thinking the same line that I'm thinking. So if you are like, let me repeat it again. So if you are keeping more expectations, thinking that you can get more customers, but really your product is not in that level. So you are saying that, okay, this pair of shoe you can use it for a year. Many people like it. Okay, this is only this amount. So if I can use it for a year, that's really good. So many people come and purchase it. But certainly that can't be used after 6 months. So by 6 months done, so it's not usable. So where are you ending? It's a restriction. Because in a short run, it's okay. You get more customers. But in the long run, that is also very bad because you keep the customer disappointed. So that's what the slide says. Keeping too little expectations. So like sometimes it's delight the customer, but the problem is you are not attracting sufficient number of customers. But keeping too much expectations, you will attract more customers, but most of them will end up with a show. That's what we have to do then as a marketeer. Promise what we people as such. Isn't it? Okay. So if you can't do it, say can't. If you can do it, say you can. So whenever you are selling something, like whenever you are giving a particular product to the customer, say that this has these good things, and also it has these bad things also. I leave the decision to you. I haven't hide anything. So likewise, say the semantic, like someone is asking you to like say from the batch or something, like you are organizing a trip or something. You certainly know that you can't come. But since you want to like you don't want to disappoint the person who is inviting you, say that okay, I'll come. But you don't know. That is so disappointing. But at the time of like inviting, if you are very sure that there is a prior commitment, say that no, I can't come. That time it would be hurting, but it's okay. They will realize you said the truth. Saying yes and not turning up, it's a bad thing. So there are some people like that, isn't it? Telling, okay, I'll bring those food and everything. The other place, even the food is also not there, the person is also not there. So the next time, you won't believe the person. That's the thing. You put a label like he's a liar. So even the person is telling the truth, still the person is a liar. So that's why I say that we have to practice marketing within us as well. At the first point, sometimes the people would take you as a stranger because to the face that you are telling. But one day they will realize if you say yes, yes means yes. And you have to do it. So therefore, in marketing, we say that we should not make unrealistic promises. Because in this world, there is no any ideal product. Every product is having pros and cons. And it's the way that you are looking at it. Even the product which is having so much of defects, still there may be some people to take it. But it's a matter you have to highlight it. This is on discounted price because somewhere in this cloth there is a defect. You have to understand it. But if you are hiding it and saying that, okay, this is on sale and because we want to clear up the stocks, and then you are taking, and then once you wash it, then you realize the small holes are there in the t-shirts. Then the next day, even though they put on sale, then you will not turn up even. Because you can't bear it. Because holes are getting expanded. So likewise, it says keeping the customer satisfied is a simple thing, but it's a matter that you have to give the expectation. So if a customer is satisfied, what the customer would be? That's general knowledge. If you are happy with a particular product or a service, what? Write it down. Some people are saying, write it down. I will do it. 3 points. You have a chat with the person. Okay. Keep your feet down on floor and then think like if I'm doing a particular product, that's it. I'm talking to the virtual students, like since the first day you didn't respond me. So just keep on concentrating for the physical class, but at any point, of course, you can unmute your mic and you are subject to ask any questions or clarification. It doesn't mean that you are being discriminated. Because the last time it was so engaged and there was a couple of students who was speaking a lot, but that's what this time on. Okay, shall we see like what you do if you are happy with the product? Yeah, you will tell about that product. What else? You were recommending. What else? What else do you do? Yes, you will again purchase the same thing because you are happy with that brand. Yes, repeat purchase.
Positive products in the social media site.
Yeah, so you will comment positively, especially in the nowadays in the virtual platform. If the customer returns, you put good reviews to that product. Good. Yeah, you will recommend the product to others. Yes, others. Yeah, you will be loyal to that brand, so you will not change. Others. Even from the same brand, if a new product is introduced, sometimes you trust the brand, so therefore you will go for it. What else? So you don't need to memorize this one, but you thought was all correct. You will say loyal. So that means will not change the brand because you are happy with the existing product or the brand. And even the same brand, if the new product is introduced, you will, without any problem, you will go and purchase. Okay. And also you will recommend it to the others. Talk favorable thing about the product. Okay, that is the customer reviews also coming under that. And also, if you are already happy with a particular brand, you pay less attention to the competitor's brand. Because if you are having a vacuum in the mind only, you are looking for an alternative. But if your mind is already set with a particular brand, you don't need to worry about what are the other alternatives. And also, you will provide ideas to the company. What does that mean? Like just imagine if you used to go to a particular restaurant, it used to have a very delicious food. So that recently you figure out like the taste has been changed. Don't you call the waiter or the person who is in charge and saying that why what has happened to your taste? Now it's not like those days. No, the taste has been changed. Don't you? If you really love the restaurant, sit. Otherwise, no. You slowly step out and you go to the computer. So that's what here it says that like if a particular customer is saying that and highlighting these things are bad, you have to take it in a positive way. It doesn't mean that the customer is not happy because only for that moment. The person likes you, so that is why the person is highlighting the bad. If the person doesn't like you, so simply step out and go and join with the competitor's restaurant. And put that into your personal life as well. If someone is saying that this what you are doing is wrong, so that means he or she is good. If you are doing something bad, the person is simply can go away from you, then the person is not the one who is happy. Because the criticisms you have taken in a positive way. The people will give the ideas, people will highlight if something is lacking, that because those customers are really happy. And the other one is it's less costly for us to offer something for the satisfied customer because you don't need to convince. if they are already happy with your product, for selling to the same person, you don't need to pay much of a cost. That's why I said the transaction cost is low for satisfied customer than getting a new customer. Because it's normally said that if you are losing one satisfied customer, it is very expensive for you to replace with another customer. Because for another customer, you have to convince a lot. But for the existing person, you don't need to convince. Dissatisfied customer. You will not stay with the brand. You will tell all the negative things about the brand. Even from the same company, if new product is introduced, you will not purchase it. And certainly you will look for alternatives, the competitive brands that you always look for. And also like those people will not give any ideas to your brand because they simply leave from you. And also dissatisfied customer, it's very difficult to convert that into a satisfied customer. If a bad experience happened, I told him like normally that's the way our brain is being built up. If good things happen, we will tell, it says psychological like the rule, that normally people are telling it only for maximum 5 people. If thing happen, we will tell maximum of 5 people. But if a bad thing happen, how many people are players? Minimum of 10 people. So that's why the bad stories are having this. Whatever we do good, no one is talking about it. Even a small thing happen, everyone knows. So that's why, like, dissatisfying customer is more dangerous. Because nowadays it's so dangerous, just take the phone and put the review, then everyone knows. Nothing can be done. So likewise, so you have to be very careful with the dissatisfied customer because it's very difficult for you to rectify that person's mind. Then how do we know that our customers are satisfied with us? How do we know it? So one thing is like, this is some of the strategies that the companies can practice. So they can have a complaint and suggestion system. Like they can provide the facilities for people to comment and give suggestions. So this is for the customer reviews also, that it's basically like in online, the retailing and also the whenever you are reserving a hotel. So always you go and whenever you are buying something, you always go and see that what other people are telling. And accordingly, you get the star system. So that is the normal way of doing the digital platform. Others like but that should be something very effective, not simply having a complaint and suggestion system and keep it detached. Always you have to review that and you have to incorporate that to your strategies. So then like people like to give the comments. Otherwise they won't. Because why they are just even typing? The company is not care about it. Like that's what has happened like the government is good. Suggestion box is there. We know there's no point of putting the suggestions, they are not in place. The matter of putting a suggestion box, no one is opening, and even if it is open, still they will practice the same thing. Once the customer realizes that, no point of selling anything, because if the same strategy is continuing, at a point you stop it. That's true, isn't it? We keep on telling something to someone if someone is not listening. So why we are wasting our words? Just keep them out shut. Let that person doing away, let the person out. So that's what here it says that the complaint and suggestions that should be incorporated with the company strategy. So that's what I say that relating everything. You have to be flexible, change accordingly. Customer satisfaction survey. Like you can have a research and see whether your customers are happy. In a situation like this, you are going to hand over the research to a research firm, and they say that it is about a bank. say from a particular bank, you want to see whether how far that your the customers are happy with your banking service. So then, so now you are looking at the process that the research firm has already followed. So the research firm said that, okay, we have distributed 1,000 questionnaires. So we got the 500 return. So 500 is a substantial number. So we have analyzed that 500. So this is the picture, so that it says you are providing a good service and the people are happy. That's a situation. Think good like this, like you have to accept it, or are there anything like you have to think little? You get my point. Now you are the marketing manager of a particular bank. You want to see whether your customers are happy. So you are giving that task to a research firm. You do a survey and tell me whether my customer base is happy with the service what I am giving. So then, like the service, the research firm is giving a report to you. So where they have to explain the steps that they have followed. And they are saying, we have distributed 1,000 questionnaires among your customer base. We have got 500 return. So we have analyzed that 500, and it says that you are giving a good service. That can you conclude, yes, you are giving a good service. Your customer is satisfied. If you are a practitioner, I make your mind like twist the other side. Why? Should be detailed. Any thought? I can't be happy with that report. Oh, like someone would say that that's fine because if research says that like yeah, we can accept. Another one would say that, but I'm asking like, can you accept it or not? That's my first thing. And if you say yes, you have to have an answer. If you say no, you have to have an answer. Who says yes? That's okay. That's it shows that the customers are happy. No.
Expired because the balance is not as it means they are not citizens.
Very thick thought. I was waiting for that thought to come from the class. Okay. Because I the way that I was giving, like I said 5,000 and then 500 return. That's the point where you have to catch up. I was thinking like who is catching it up? Okay. So then like that the remaining 500 doesn't even want to fill the question. So they are having so horrible experience. So then you can't simply looking at, that's why I told you that if people like it, then only they will put effort to at least tell something. But if they totally don't like it and they won't even spend 1 minute to give any reflections about the service. So that you can't simply be happy just by looking at the customer survey results, saying that if they are happy, like yes, the entire the customer base is happy. So that's why sometimes like whenever you have like say the call centers also do this. Like I know that I'm not sure about the dialogue because I haven't called the dialogue recently, but they said they did it. Okay. At the end, and also the Salam did it. So this is the recent experience that I'm seeing, like once you call the call center and then you are getting the work done at last. So they are asking like just wait for a couple of minutes because we have the review question. So that it says like whether you're happy or not happy or something like that. 1, 2, 3, they give the number, then you have to matter of pressing the number. If you like only, you will wait for that minute. If you really hate it, what the hell is he saying that? Just cut the call. Isn't it? So that you have to really compare how many calls that you have handled in the call center, how many customer reviews are there. That is the real picture you can get. Like if some people are not even answering, that means you are giving very horrible experience. And also like the that's why I say that we can't simply say survey, but it's a matter like how we are using the survey. Okay. You can't be blind. And also like sometimes some of the companies say that, okay, so you have to answer the calling free rings. So you have to answer the calling free rings where you have to sort out the issue. And also sometimes you are putting the employee evaluation system, the number of queries that you have sorted out particular day, then you are being evaluated you are a good customer, good employee, average employee. So like, okay. So that would be like they have set the survey with the employee evaluation. They have combined. Did you get my point? Call center, there are some people say that I'm one of that person. So then I am being evaluated based on how many queries that I have handled. Then my remuneration is depending on that. So what I would do is I will handle as much as possible queries. Isn't it? So sometimes the problem is still there. Can't it be? Because I get a one call, put a plaster and say that now it's sorted out, but because I'm waiting for the next call. So likewise, but the same person say that you are complaining the Monday morning, I haven't sorted out. But for the system, I have sorted out. Tuesday also you call it. It's not me, sometimes someone else is picking up your call. So ultimately, you feel so disappointed the third time you are, because it loses your temper. You say that how many times that I've complained the same thing, still the same problem is there. Isn't it? So those are like some of the loop points where the companies are not thinking of from the customer's point of view. Because they try to control the employees, they set the KPIs, but ultimately customer is in the victim mode and struggling with the calls every day. And then at one point it says that, no, I don't want this, I disconnect because I don't have any other job calling. Because then I become like a call center person. I'm not going to the job. Even if I go to the job, I'm receiving the work. So likewise, it's not just a matter of a survey for the per se of survey. So you have to use it in a proper way. And the other one is lost customer analysis. What is that? Lost customer analysis. You are analyzing the customers that you have already lost. That what kind of company that would do? That they have already lost. Life insurance companies. So sometimes the people get the insurance, but they won't continue. So then the company can call the people, those who are not continuing, then they become lost customers and ask why you are not continuing. Is it because of the company reason or is it because of a personal reason? So then you really get to know that what's the reason behind not continuing. It's possible to address from the company's point of view, and you can address it. And who else can do it? That is possible to address. Other than the banks, what? It's like in what we call it standing orders. Standing orders, yes, possible. What else? Leasing. So the leasing also sometimes happily the people won't pay the leasing continues, and then you can contact the person now, like why you are not. Something like that. The ghost shopping. What does that mean? So I told you that in the marketing, the beauty of it is like it's a matter of guessing the meaning from the term itself. To guess the meaning from the term. Guess the meaning as per the content. Now we want to know whether our customers are happy. So that you are sending a ghost for shopping. How you are going to match it? How are you going to get the meaning? Ghost will tell you the reality.
Aggressive customer.
Huh?
Aggressive customer.
Okay. So then, something our ancient times, our kings, they did it. Can you remember those days? So what happened there? They just pretend as a normal citizen and have a walk around. Isn't it? And I think that how the people are thinking about the king. So that means you pretended as a normal citizen. Same person. So you are sending some people as customers. So, but they are not real customers, they are pretended customers. So that's why they are being called as ghosts. So then it's something like this. Say for an example, I don't have any experience in Sri Lankan context, but I have some experience in Europe, which I'll explain after this one. Like, say for an example, I'll take Sampath Bank. I don't know whether it's being practiced. I'm just taking a bank. So from the top management, top management can assign a team of people, not from the company, outside. Because why you are not taking from the company? They know that it's your stuff. Okay? So they take external people and give a task. Say that it's 4 of you. Okay, you go as a savings person. And also you are being assigned to a particular branch. And you go as a current account customer and you are being assigned to another branch. Okay? And you go as the loan customer or you go as an internet or whatever that you are being given a task. So then you are going. The branch people are not aware whether you are a real customer or you are a ghost. Dependent customer. Same service will be given. Because they don't know. So then what you are done is you have to have a report. This is what my experience is. And then you are giving to the top management. So then they get the real picture how these branch people treat the customers because they don't know whether you are a real customer or you are being sent by the hospital. So this is what happened in McDonald's, Europe, where they have a system called, I'm not quite sure about that, but in UK, what they're doing is something called gap GAP. So then so they are sending these gas people when the branch is so busy. Like normally they have a busy time like 6 to 7 for the breakfast and 12 to 2 for lunch and 7 to 8 for dinner. So that is a peak time where the branch is full busy. So why it is full busy? That is the place where you lose the customer satisfaction. And also they are asking these gap people to purchase a common menu item. They also you are just controlling the people because normally it's a Big Mac regular meal or a particular regular meal. Then they know that. So this is what commonly people are eating, so that you should also eat that. And also it's being sent to all the branches because they have linked to performance evaluation. So these people say that if you are a gap person going to a particular branch in London, so you are being given some criteria to evaluate. Freshness of the food, cleanliness, the washroom. So likewise, there are some areas where you have to evaluate. So you are starting evaluation from the car park itself and have a walk around. And then you go to the washroom and then only you go to the table. And you are making the order. And you are having the meal in the restaurant itself. So that you can see that how they are treating the others. And after having the meal, and then you have to give the point. So it's been standardized because it is an individual human evaluation. It's a matter of perception. You have to have a standard. So they are saying that for every criteria, 100 points are being given. So if more than 80, that criteria is passed. Say if it is freshness of the food, you have 100 points. You decide out of 100 how much that I can give. So the benchmark is 80. If it is 80 or more, that means that branch, that criteria is passed. So likewise, for each criteria, you have to do the evaluation and use the method for sending the evaluation. That's why you might have seen the people, those who are serving the customer, they have a name tag. They are putting the name tag. I have been served by this person. So then it's so risky because if something went wrong in terms of the food or customer treatment or something like that, the top management knows that who is the person treated with that. You have seen now it's in Sri Lanka also. I haven't seen in the bank, but I haven't seen in the supermarket. Supermarkets, have you seen it? Is it the name tag or is it a trade? It's a trade. Even Sri Lanka McDonald's, is it there, like the name tag? I haven't seen. Is it? I don't know. Maybe it's like if you go, just have a look. And then what they are doing is like they are sending this gap twice a month. First 2 weeks, last 2 weeks, to keep the consistency. In the first 2 weeks, if the gap fails, they are arranging another. They give a chance. So then the last 2 weeks also. Then if both are passed, so that means that month gap is passed. If they are failed continuously for 3 months, they say that for this year, no increments for the entire branch. You see like how they are linking it to the performance evaluation of the employees. So that is a very powerful tool to make sure that your customers are satisfied. Because there is no any deviation, it's been standardized, same points, and also the person is in court because the name is also there, and also very fair evaluation. And then like it says that if it's fair, then it's fair, everyone is responsible. Take down the cost shopping, that example you can take it. Take down to town. All the others like no need to have notes because it's common sense. But for the cost shopping, you can take down the notes. I will give that. It's hard for you to take notes. Cost shopping, put a note. Send an independent group of people, sending an independent group of people as customers, and get experience the service, get experience the service provided by the company, the service provided by the company. At the end of the service experience, such pretended customers, at the end of such experience, such pretended customers should provide a report, about the real experience received from the company. Example. Example, in UK, gap, 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 you can put it in bracket, the gap system, the gap system, that visit twice a month, evaluate, to evaluate all the aspects of, services, all the aspects of services in each branch. And decide the rewards accordingly. Now you might not feel like this is mainly it's possible for services. Because of course it is why normally the companies are going for this first shopping for services, not for physical product. And even not all the services, I will come back to that point later on. Why it is mainly applied. Now, I have taken two examples. One is the pretended example, it's sample bank. I don't know whether the bank is doing it, but pretended example. But this one is a real example. So both cases I have taken service firm. So why it's mainly the practice in the service firm? Until you are getting the real experience of the service, you don't know whether you are happy or not. But if it is a physical product, there are certain ways that you can ensure the quality. You can put the quality standards. So whenever you are getting the raw material, you can put the standards. And also you can check whether those products are in that standard. And in the production process also, you can put the production process in line with the standards. That Melbourne Manche, they do it. And then at the end of the production process, before you dispatch it to the market, still you can ensure the quality. If some defects are there, you say that don't issue this to market. But for services, you can't do it in that way. Because the services, production and consumption happen simultaneously. It's not something you manufacture in advance. If you want to have a hair, the barber can manufacture the haircut in advance before you do. You have to sit. Once you sit only, your head it's going to be changed. Your hair is going to be changed. So that's the difficulty of ensuring the customer satisfaction in the service firm, where the production and consumption happen simultaneously. So by the time it's the produced, it has already been distributed. You can't take it back. It's so dangerous. Because the production of a haircut done in, the distribution of the haircut is also done. If it anything went wrong, can you correct it? Can you fix the hairs? You can't. So once you have given a service, given means given. The customer has already experienced it. You can't change it. So that's why these kind of advanced techniques are being used for services. Not like in the physical product. Physical product, if we are in a better shape, at least we can put the quality system in both. So that we can make sure that the product that's going to the market is in good quality. My second question, can we do it for all the services? Think about some possible services where you can't do this. Think in the class. Now it's true that for the physical product, we don't need to worry about this because this is costly. So then mainly we go for this system for the service. because the quality we can ensure before issue to the market. Even services, we can't do this for all the services. Some services from the date itself, we can't do it. Some examples. Like that. Because it's about. Because so we can ask the one who is in the higher rank chair, come down, you go as a customer. Okay? Then you will realize that what's the service that you are giving to the community. That is possible. So because it doesn't harm the body, but for the hospital it's really hard. Because you can't pretend that you are sick. Because you can, like, sometimes you can stop taking the medicine, but once you go there, the doctor will touch you and see that you are having a fever. Then you realize that you are a pretended person, you are not a real person. So the hospital industry is hard to do it. And also, like, we can't ask the person to do a surgery if it is not exact. Eating is also fine. Getting a banking service is also fine. And going to a hotel is also fine because it doesn't, you are not putting that person in a risk. But if you are putting that person in a risk, and then that you have to think twice. But the salon, is it possible? Yes, if the person is willing to do so, just take it. That's fine. Airline service, it's possible. Because the person want the challenge that person who is taking on board as a host. And the relationship are key to the next day. So likewise, take it down. The workshopping is mostly applicable. Workshopping is mostly applicable. For services, where production and consumption, the production and consumption happen simultaneously. So that is, just listen to me. So that is something we call as, right, services are co-created. So services are co-created in the sense the customer and the provider together create it. Okay. So you're also part of the production process. If you want to have a haircut, you go and take a tea. Then only the barber starts. So you have to support the barber. Otherwise, you won't be able to get the stylish haircut. So that's why for the small fellows, it's a one style. Just put it into 1 or 0. Choose. That's it. Because the small fellow is not supporting. Understand? So it's something like that. So like when you go for the dentist, why some medicines are being given to make not feeling. Otherwise, you won't support. Then if you want to take one thing out, can you be as normal? No. You are part of the production process and make sure it won't hurt you. So that's why so many things, and that's why for the small fellows, even they can't get into the seat because knowing that how the other people are taking the teeth out. So it's a horrible thing. So that is the difficulty, like the customer and the supplier together should create it. So that's why these kind of techniques are more useful. Simultaneously, it is called as services are co-created. It is called as services are co-created. it means employee, it means employee and the customer. It means employee and the customer. Together, to create the service. Together should create the service. By the time it's created, that has already been distributed. By the time it's created, that has already been distributed. And then we are in a better shape to stop for today.